Bitcoin right now forming a mega breakout pattern that will leave the bears dripping and sore from top to bottom like your sister on a Friday night. And will these mega whales serve as the catalyst for Bitcoin's next big move? And will we soon see the end of this $40,000 range? And with the SPX suddenly busting to the upside, providing massive gains for the Moon Boys, are the Moon Boys about to be left holding big gains or squealing like little piggies? I'm your host, Chili Willy, and Bitcoin is right now looking to make one of its biggest moves in months. But the big question is, how big? If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn those ghost notifications so you miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. As well, if you guys are interested in any deals, bonuses, securing your crypto, getting altcoins, trading, make sure to check out all of the links below for deals and great bonuses. And as well, I have one Twitter and one Instagram, and they're in the description. And if it's not in the description of this video, then it's not my one Twitter and one Instagram and one YouTube. This one. And without any further ado, let's jump in. Not only huge, but absolutely ginormous. With Bitcoin potentially on the verge of over a 2-month-long consolidation at the bottom of this range here, around 40K, is Bitcoin actually ready to bust and thrust to new highs? As Bitcoin has seen a prolonged crab market, you could basically say for the last 15, 16 months. It's been basically sideways for a very long time. And are we indeed and in fact coiling up for one of the biggest busts to the upside of all time? Okay, that's very big. In fact, if I would have to, if you would look back before we get into more articles and more price action, but if you would look back and see this price consolidating right here, one move that would not surprise me would be seeing a very big move to the upside after this. Now, I'm not saying this will happen like next week or anything, but all I'm saying is on a very long time frame like this consolidation, this sideways, this crab market price action is exactly the buildup you would want to see before something very big. Could it go the other way? Yes. I mean, technically anything could happen, and I'm not going to say that it can't, but to me, that just seems like a very less likely scenario, especially factoring in everything going on in the world and how much growth Bitcoin has already seen, how much adoption it's seen in just the last 24 months. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. I said that a year ago, and it's gotten insanely more utilized much more, and the adoption has grown exponentially in that amount of time, with billionaires changing their minds on it, with companies adopting it, with apps. It's being adopted everywhere. So it would be silly to say that this is going to stop. To me, it really is even more important and more influential and more predetermined the trajectory of this overall market over the next 5, 10, 20 years than the internet was. And the internet clearly did very well. Remember, back when the internet was first starting, there were a lot of people saying, this is just a fad and it will go away. But pretty much all of you watching this video are addicted to the internet, right? Whether it's using certain apps like Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, stuff like that. Most of the people that are born today are going to be addicted to the internet if the world doesn't end. And indeed, that is the big if. But here we go. Bitcoin holds $40,000 as on-chain or on-balance volume hints at a multi-month Bitcoin price breakout. It could soon be time to call an end to the trading range in which Bitcoin has languished throughout 2022. And here we have Zima commenting here. We have broken out of the wedge to the upside, to the top side, and are flipping the 21 OBVMA. We're on the cusp of a multi-month bullish continuation after a year of crab. Very true. And again, depending on how you want to draw this, there's an ascending parallel channel on this Twitter page's tweet, Alan Au, basically calling for a $46,000 price target, but then target 1 being about 50K and target 2 topping out around 60K. And basically all he's talking about is this consolidation here, depending on how you want to draw this, which there are going to be a million ways that people draw this, but all you can see for the most part is over the last 2 months, we have seen increased tightening in this price range, where the previous months, even though it was pretty boring and sideways on these longer term scales, we've really seen price absolutely condense and squish together. And that is exactly what you see before the biggest moves. For example, one that comes to mind immediately is instead of a pumpy, it was a dumpy. And we saw the price get it was 3 months of literally price did nothing for 3 months. And then we saw a massive dumpage. And then that was kind of like the beginning of the resurgence of this Bitcoin healthy bullish momentum. But yeah, what we see here is absolutely a different structure. But the main thing we do see that is similar is just the tightening, which you see the tightening before big moves to the upside or downside. I just happen to believe that it would be a move to the upside based on not really TA, honestly. It's based on more of like what the macro environment around Bitcoin in the world is, which is more important than TA. If I would have to put more weight on fundamental analysis or technical analysis, I would say long-term fundamental analysis. For example, if a super baby genius hacked Bitcoin or something, right? It's a hypothetical. It doesn't make any sense right now, but if something like that would happen, then technicals don't really they don't mean anything because the fundamentals would be destroyed. If Bitcoin was no longer secure, if it was no longer the network that it is, then that's the fundamentals of it. Then it would not be good. TA is only important if the fundamentals are solid and if they don't collapse. So again, I think fundamentals are more important, and that's why I personally believe that's why I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, because of the fundamentals, not necessarily the technicals. The technicals right now are kind of neutral. The technicals right now are saying either way is likely, but as well, we see the miners that hold the most Bitcoin relentlessly expanding here. According to a series of mining metrics, they are holding hard. They're holding big and hard, but they're also dramatically increasing their hash rate. Whit Gibbs, the founder and CEO of Compass Mining, explained that public mining companies definitely have an advantage when it comes to holding because they have access to the capital markets. They don't have to liquidate their Bitcoin to buy machines, increase their rack space, and pretty much grow their business. They don't have to sell their Bitcoin. They're able to go to capital markets and get money, right? They can get investors. They can get that money without selling, and they're able to hold bigger and bigger positions, just like with anything in life. The more money you have, the easier it is to get more money. When you have no money, it's very hard to get money. But when you have a ton of money, it's very easy to keep getting a ton of money. You have leverage, you have opportunities, you have freedom that people with no money do not have, okay? It's the exact same thing here. If you have a lot of money, it's easier to make money. And if you make $5 an hour, it's going to be a lot harder to become a millionaire because you don't have as much money. And some of the largest miners hold huge amounts of Bitcoin. It's crazy how much some of them are holding. Bitcoin mining company Marathon actually holds the third largest amount of Bitcoin among businesses worldwide, right behind Tesla and MicroStrategy. So Marathon holds right behind those two massive companies, and we clearly know how much MicroStrategy holds and Tesla. But since January of 2021, miner reserves have been steadily increasing, and this is reflective of their holding strategy and suggesting that publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies are taking more of a bullish approach to Bitcoin. And miners are some of the biggest Bitcoin moon boys out there, utilizing the highly developed equity and debt markets to raise money to pay for expansion, allowing them to keep the Bitcoin that they mine and having more and more leverage and more power over everything. And then billionaire Mike Novogratz is predicting Bitcoin to explode over 1,100%. It could rally over 10 times over the next 5 years. And basically him saying, I think 5 years out of Bitcoin is not at least 500,000. I'm wrong on the adoption cycle. And it's happened at a faster rate than internet technology did in the 90s. So again, just like I mentioned a few minutes ago, comparing Bitcoin to the internet, I think is it's a decent thing to compare it to. But again, I think the adoption of Bitcoin will be much greater. Everyone already has computers. Everyone already has cell phones. Most people, all right? Sure, some people don't have that. But in general, most people have access. Even homeless people, a lot of the times, do have cell phones. That's how prevalent cell phones are. Pretty much everyone has a cell phone. Pretty much everyone has access to the internet in one way or the other. Free Wi-Fi everywhere, right? You get a $10 or a free cell phone, which are honestly not that hard to come by. You can have access to the internet. So everyone has access to this already. We don't have to build the infrastructure for people to get Bitcoin. The internet already exists. So you just kind of plug the internet in, and you're already able to access something huge. And so that's, again, why I can see Bitcoin's adoption accelerate much faster than something like the internet. And the internet already grew extremely fast. So that's already comparing it to something that grew exponentially very, very quickly. And with that, Bitcoin, again, just trading right around 41 on this weekly chart. I still think it's very important. We're going to be getting a bullish cross here on the MACD very soon. If this price action just continues to chug away even a little bit, doesn't have to even go above 50K or even 45 necessarily. But we see this momentum slowly switching, like we saw it switch negative kind of the beginning of November as well, or even a little bit before that as we started to see it dissipate. Yeah, about the middle of November. Still hidden bullish diversions on this very long-term chart for Bitcoin. Again, these are the types of structures that, like I said, this is not going to happen by next week, but this type of coiling structure here is exactly what is healthy, in my opinion, to see before a very big move to the upside. If, for example, we had the price action that we saw here, okay, where we ran from about 10K up to 60K, which is, I mean, that's insane. If we saw that, we saw this little correction here, and then we saw Bitcoin do this again, okay, that would be pretty exciting, and we would have hit that, maybe even 150, 160, or $170,000 per Bitcoin. But what do you think would have happened next? And I think everyone would agree, if this would have happened, okay, what would have come next is probably something like this. Okay, you can't have a pump without a dump. You can have a dump without a pump. So we didn't see that. We did not see Bitcoin rally to 60K, get a little pullback to 30K, and then rally to 160K. That did not happen. What we saw instead was we saw a little bounce, barely put in a higher high, and so far we put in a lower low. But this type of structure, again, I think gives us more of the juice to then give us a healthier growth to 100, 150, 60, 70, 80, $200,000 per Bitcoin over a longer period. Again, I'm not saying it'll happen by like next month, but this type of structure gives us the strength to do something like that without like a massive crash. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on these absolute time-sensitive alerts as well. If you guys are interested in trading, getting any bonuses, getting altcoins, securing your crypto, staking with our ADA pool to earn rewards, all the information is in the description below. And as well, do not respond to any scammers on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or in your emails. I don't know how they get your emails because I don't even have your emails. Yeah, but they're all fake scammers, and do not respond to them. They're in the comments right now responding to you if you leave a comment. So don't respond to them. Without any further ado, that's it for me.